Right, good morning everybody, or good afternoon or good evening. This is your guide to passing the grammar test of stage 4, known in the vernacular as G4. As you can see, we've got the test itself on the right hand side, and on the left the information you need from the back of the stage 4 language booklet to help you pass it. Okay, just a quick overview. The first section is about the persons of verbs, whether they're first, second or third. Second one is how you translate those, so which one of these means I, which means you, which means she or he. And the bottom one is quite fiddly, a little story, and you have to use your skill and judgment to work out who's doing the three actions or the three things in this story, and there's some vocab at the back to help you. Right, section 1, question 1, which person are these? Now, to do this you have to have read the stuff in the stage 4 language booklet. Here's the bit on the back page which tells you. So you can see the first person means I, and has an O on the end in Latin. The second person means you and has an S, and the third person has a T and means he or she. So with that in our memory banks, we can whiz across here and we can do the easy ones first. So I, remember I was the first person, so let's knock that one off. You, remember, was the second person, so let's do that. And then the third person is he or she, or somebody's kind of like he or she, so a person, Daddy or Grumio, for example. So let's do those as well, they're third person. You see how Grumio is like a he, as is Daddy. Right, that's the first section done. Question 2 just sees whether you can translate the different endings, S, T, O, and ignore the word order. That's why the same thing is repeated in a different order. So you may remember from over here that the O on the end means I, the S means you, and the T means he or she. So let's go back over here, and it should be really easy now. Again, we can start with the easy ones. So the I here, that's going to be an O on the end. So let's join that up with the two O ones. The U, for example, has an S on the end, so let's do those with the two ones with S, canem salutas and salutas canem. And then you probably guessed that a T on the end means he or she, so let's do that, making sure the lines don't get confused over to there. So that's the second question done correctly. Section 3 is a bit different and a bit harder, so let's try and explain what's going on. We have a story here and 3 questions about who is doing it. So we want 3 names in these 3 boxes. So let's work out who's working, or let's try and find the word for working. That's working, isn't it? Laboro. If you've forgotten the word, it tells you down there. Okay, laborat means works. But laboro, the O on the end, we remember, means I. Okay, so laboro means I. So Popeye is saying in this little play, I am working in the garden. So who's working? Well, Popeye, unless she's lying, but she at least claims to be working in the garden. Right, who's sitting? Now sitting is sedet. Here's the word in the story. Popeye is talking again this time, but she's saying, but, an S on the end means you, doesn't it? So, but you are sitting in the hall. Who's she talking to? Metella. So the you there must be Metella. So she's saying Metella is sitting. Again, if she's telling the truth, you are sitting in the hall. She's talking to Metella, so Metella goes over here. Lastly, who's in the study? Well, Metella says here, there's the word for study, tablinum is study. Caecilius is in the study. So I reckon that's going to be Caecilius. So you've got to use your wits a bit here and try and imagine the play being acted out by people talking to each other. That's where you get the you from. Okay, so it's a bit trickier, that one, but again with some skill, judgment and thought and some basic with some skill and judgment and some basic knowledge, you can work it out.